What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another episode of Dragon Ball Q&A, where today we have lots of awesome questions to go through and pertains to the Universe Survival arc alongside some of the characters. So before we begin, I do want to say that these questions also apply to you guys as well. So if your opinion differs than mine, go ahead and post your comments down below in relation to the questions. And of course, if you guys have any questions to ask me of your own, post your questions down in the comment section below in order to be featured in the upcoming Q&A video. And of course, before we begin, if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome daily Dragon Ball content as well. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, by the way, so let's not waste any more time and begin with our very first question of the day, which is from Tyler the Train KX. Hey there, Alex. First off, I wanted to start by saying that if this does get featured onto your Q&A video, then thank you so much. I've been watching your content now for about 3 years and you never fail to entertain and inform. Thank you, bro. I personally also wanted to say that I believe this arc is going to be the best arc in Dragon Ball Super, really. Due to its unpredictable nature, these questions that I'm about to ask aren't just for you, but to your viewers as well. I challenge you to answer these in the comments. Okay, question number 1, seeing as how Toppo effortlessly eradicated Basil's rage energy blast with his hands, then taunting everyone by saying you disrespect the gods, do you feel as if Toppo is the grand opponent for this tournament, or will it be the masked alien he is accompanied with? Toppo was never shown having any spotlight in the new intro, so thoughts. Question number 2, what if Toppo battles Hit in a tournament, having to display his true feats against an assassin? How would you feel if Hit was on the come up but then is defeated by such a character, thus not giving us a Goku v Hit or Vegeta v Hit rematch? Question number 3, has anyone else noticed that since drugs or other items are allowed to be used for the purposes of entertaining the Omni Kings, then if Universe 7's backs are against the walls, similar to how they fought Murd Zamasu, will the Potara earrings or fusion in general be fair as well? That's a good question. Question number 4, Basil was not Majin Buu's greatest opponent, just as Lavender won't be Gohan's, I agree. Kid Buu was Buu's and Buhan's was Gohan. Oh, okay, I see what you mean here. Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. Knowing this and seeing how they were seemingly struggling against cheaters, how will they fare up later on when they begin to fight stronger opponents? Well, this was very well thought out, so thank you so much for the questions, Mr. Tyler. Now, and again, guys, this also applies to you all, so if your opinions differ, comment down below. Now, to answer your first question, Toppo is the leader of the Pride Troopers, which the masked alien happens to be accompanied with, alongside like the little rabbit cat looking dude that's with them, and they all seem to be wearing the same suits. They all seem to be, you know, at a very high position, especially having a look at the intro when Goku was fighting the masked alien, especially having a look at Toppo, the way he effortlessly destroyed that energy blast. Now, I do think that Toppo is going to be, perhaps, if anything, the grand opponent for this tournament. As you said, it's kind of hard to even like make that assumption because he is being scouted as a god of destruction. So if he's being looked at as a god for his amazing feats and how strong he truly is, and then you can only imagine how strong he would be if he steps onto the battlefield. So I do think that all of these fighters that come from the Pride Troopers are incredibly strong. And I would have to say that yes, Toppo, the masked alien, and the purple cat rabbit looking dude that looks like Beerus, I do think that they're all probably on the same realm as being as strong as a Super Saiyan Blue, if not stronger. So I do think that by the end of this, if Goku manages to survive, then I do have to say that indeed we will get Toppo versus Goku. But I do think that there's something about Toppo that needs to be further explained as to how strong he truly is and why exactly he's being scouted as the potential next god of destruction for whatever universe or whatever, you know, realm they decide to put him in. So I do think that, and yes, we do understand that he is the man underneath the robe, so he is in fact, you know, the person that's going to be competing in this tournament. I mean, when exactly is he going to be competing? We don't really know. That's if VERMOUTH decides to put him in early or just keeping him, you know, on the sidelines until further down the line in the tournament. But I do think that Toppo is going to be, if anything, the grand opponent here, aside from the masked alien, because it's weird because in the Dragon Ball Super introduction, we see Goku fighting with this masked alien guy over and over and over again, even to the point where he went from fighting him in his base form to his Super Saiyan form to his Super Saiyan Blue form, and then we saw like that red aura just engulf Goku as he then charged at him again. So if that person is pushing Goku to his very limit at that point, you can only imagine how Toppo is going to be. So I don't think that Toppo is probably as strong as an actual god, but I do think that he is incredibly powerful. If anything, probably one of the top 3 fighters in this entire tournament, if that, probably even in the top 2 ranking, because I mean, again, even though he comes from universe number 11, we don't really know for sure as to some of the other fighters that come from universe number 12, 10, 2, 3, 4, you know, stuff like that. But I do think that his powers are probably going to be rivaled by Goku's in a way, if anything. It's hard to really say, but I do think that, to answer your question, Toppo is going to be one of the main opponents for Goku in this tournament. Now, to answer your second question, if Toppo battled Hit, and if Hit lost against Toppo, that would be very upsetting, because I do want to see Hit versus Goku or Hit versus Vegeta. Whichever fight you guys want to see, comment down below. Even though we already had Hit versus Goku already, and it happened as like sort of like a filler episode, I still want to see Hit, you know, demonstrate more of his powers. It'll really suck to see that. In a way, it'll kind of be cool to see Champa's reaction, because Champa's, you know, wild card here is Hit. He knows that Hit is an incredible fighter with his own unique abilities and techniques, and since, you know, the rules don't really apply here, if Hit really wants to kill somebody, keep in mind, one single strike to the chest and it's basically over. So to see Hit lose to Toppo, I really wouldn't mind it too much, but first I would rather see Hit, you know, at least have a comeuppance with Vegeta or Goku, or even having a battle with Gohan perhaps. Even though Gohan would lose, it would still be kind of cool. So if Toppo battled Hit, especially considering the fact that Toppo is being looked at as like a god, I don't know, man. Like, I would have to go with Toppo on that one. But I mean, it wouldn't upset me as much if we see Hit do some work. If Universe 6 fights Universe 11 early on and Toppo just obliterates Hit, first of all, that'll be a complete shock to Champa and everyone else, including Goku, because Goku expects Hit to be one of the strongest. But then after witnessing someone like Toppo take him out, that would be a huge shock. So, I mean, to me, I wouldn't be so disappointed so as long as we see Hit demonstrate his powers further. I would hate to see him have his very first fight be against Toppo or someone similar and then he loses, you know? To answer your third question, now, it's within the realm of possibility that fusion is allowed, because the Grand Priest even said, I mean, you can create all the assumptions you want, you know, especially with Beerus saying, oh, you're using drugs to power up, that's illegal, you're cheating. The Grand Priest didn't really care. So as long as you entertain the Omni King, he doesn't really care what you do, including killing. I mean, he even said it himself. He said, you know, until your opponent can no longer go, you can just keep on fighting. So, I mean, ring outs are no longer allowed, so you can just do whatever you want. So I can only assume that, yeah, maybe the Potara earrings and the Metamoris fusion dance could be allowed, and if that's allowed, I would love to see like a different universe like begin to use fusion or something, just to see something different. Because if we do have, let's say for example, if we do have Vegito be introduced in this tournament, I think it'll be very easy, especially considering the fact of how strong he is. I think solo he would just wreck the entire tournament, unless we saw other characters do the same thing and, you know, they combine their powers and we see different fusions and stuff. Because remember, your universe is at stake, so everything is on the line, so you're gonna have to do what you have to do to survive. But I can only assume that, you know, anything goes here. That means killing, poison, cheating, drugs, items, sensu beans, Potaras, Metamori fusion dance. I mean, one can only assume that all of that is legal, and if that's legal, then this tournament's gonna be fun. I mean, not like, unlike the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament when they had rules, that was a heavily, you know, guarded tournament with rules, ring outs and disqualifications and poisons and stuff. You can't really do that, no killing. But here it's completely different. As seen with Basil, once he ate like that little purple, you know, mushroom-like substance, that was it. He just went into full-blown rage mode. So I want to know your thoughts down in the comments if you guys believe that Potara fusion or the fusion dance is allowed, because if that's allowed, then I don't think Goku and Vegeta should have a problem, considering that the fusion of the Potaras have been retconned, so they have, I believe, less than an hour to fight if they use their full power, of course. But either way, I would love to see, you know, fusion be incorporated in this tournament, just because it'll be a little different to see, let's say, for example, Vegito fights someone who's on God level or something like that. Like, you know, something a little different here. I don't know. But I definitely think that since drugs and sensu beans and all that stuff is allowed, it'll make for a very intriguing tournament. And to answer your fourth question, yes, Basil was not Majin Buu's greatest opponent. That was actually Kid Buu. If you guys remember going back, when Kid Buu fought Majin Buu, Kid Buu beat Buu down so bad to the point where Majin Buu couldn't even stand up. Like, Majin Buu was incapacitated. Like, he was down on the ground. He was finished. And the same thing goes for Buu-Tanks. It's not Buuhan, it's Buu-Tanks. When Buu-Tanks fought Gohan, Buu-Tanks wrecked Gohan. Like, Gohan couldn't really go anymore. Like even when he powered down to his Piccolo state, like he was still strong. So yeah, I mean, Majin Buu and Gohan still haven't fought their greatest opponents yet, but I do think as the tournament goes on, they're bound to encounter people that are obviously stronger. But considering how Ultimate Gohan is said to be, you know, stronger than ever, it's kind of intriguing to me to see who Gohan's gonna fight that's gonna give him that fight. But overall in general, I really hope that Gohan does go far, and I hope that midway in the tournament, Gohan gets a little too full of himself until someone shuts him down. But post your comments down below and let me know what you guys think. But anyways, Mr. Tyler, thank you for the questions, and I hope you have a fantastic day, my friend. And now moving on to the next question, which is from iRockJs82. This tournament is getting more intense by the week. Just wanted to tell you that I love your Q&A videos. Thank you, man. Been listening and watching to them at school and debating with friends about certain topics. So me and my friends came up with some questions for you to answer. Okay. Zach's Q. Okay, so Zach's question, I assume that is. Question number 1, do you think Girl Broly is on Champa's team? It's hard to truly say yes or no, but would you rather her come from Universe 6 or somewhere else, which would raise awareness of other Saiyans in the multiverse? Question number 2, which is my Q, which is my question. Since nobody gives a shit about the tournament rules, do you think this means Hit will solo everything on his own? Think about this, he's an assassin with nothing to lose. Mike's Q, which is Mike's question. Question number 3, who do you think will do better between Piccolo, 17, Tien, Krillin, 18, and Roshi? No bluffs. Thanks, Unreal. Everyone subscribe to this man or your universe will be destroyed. No, I preside in the same universe, so don't do it, man. Well, to answer your first question or to answer Zach's question, I do want to say thank you so much again. I think that Girl Broly has to come from Universe 6. It'll only make sense for her to come from that universe because we do know of Planet Sadala and we do know of Cabba, and he's a Saiyan, and there are existing Saiyans in that universe. So it'll only make sense for her to come from there. It'll be a huge twist to see female Broly come from a different universe, because then Vegeta and Goku are gonna say, wow, so okay, so Saiyans aren't just bound to Universe 6 and 7, they're bound in different universes as well. And that'll raise even more, you know, intrigue to both Goku and Vegeta to see how strong the other Saiyans are in the other universes and stuff. Even though we haven't really dove into Universe 6 and everybody wants to see Goku and Vegeta go to Planet Sadal and see how it is over there, I think that having Girl Broly come from Champa's team and Champa's universe would make the most sense. However, something tells me, and depending on when you're watching this video, of course, something tells me that she may not come from Universe 6. She could be someone who comes from somewhere else, which I don't know if I would like that too much, because it'll only make sense for Cabba to say something along the lines of, oh yeah, so since you guys have 2 Saiyans on your team, last time I brought myself another Saiyan as well. And it's hard to say that if she's like this legendary Super Saiyan or whatever everyone makes her out to be. She could be, but I guess that we're all comparing her to Broly so much that we're overlooking the idea that her Super Saiyan transformation just could be like a mutation or something. Who's to really say? I mean, Cabba never even knew about, you know, the Super Saiyan form until he actually achieved it. So having her origin story be like this female legendary Super Saiyan would be kind of stupid, because you're copying and pasting Broly's story. So I would much rather see her be something different here. I would want her to have, you know, different Super Saiyan transformations, but of course for this specific transformation which she achieves, I really hope that they dive into like a backstory as to what it is, some sort of Super Saiyan mutation to where it causes her to be stronger than the average Super Saiyan or something, you know, somewhere along those lines. But I think it'll make sense for her to come from Universe 6. If you guys feel differently, comment down below. Now, to answer your question, since nobody gives a shit about the tournament, can Hit solo the entire thing? Honestly, people tend to underestimate Hit. Hit is a master at what he does. He is a master of his techniques, and after having to think about how he killed Goku, one single shot to the chest, one single punch directly from the front, and that killed you. So I could definitely see Hit using his time skip, using his, you know, after image like technique to evade his opponent, and then striking their vital points, just bringing them down. Hit is a beast. Hit is a pure assassin. I think that if it were down to him, and if the rules really do imply that you can kill your opponent, Hit would kill most of the people there. I can definitely see Hit killing many people, but of course this goes back to the previous user. If Hit were to fight Toppo, or if Hit were to fight the Masked Fighter, I don't think it'll be easy for Hit because in the realm of possibility, yeah, Hit could be stronger than Goku currently, or maybe the opposite, Goku could be stronger than Hit now. Who's to really say? I mean, because Hit ultimately improves during battle, after battle, so Hit constantly improves, right? And for him to come across someone like Toppo, who's being scouted as a god, it'll raise a lot of intrigue to see if Hit can actually deliver his techniques and allow them to land on his opponent, such as Toppo, because who's to really say that Toppo can't turn the ties and just completely obliterate Hit, or maybe even use his techniques against him, you know, who knows? But seeing how one is an assassin and one stands for truth and justice, that'll make for a very good fight. But in terms of Hit soloing everything, I think that Hit could possibly solo 80% of this entire tournament until, of course, he comes across Vegeta possibly, or Goku or Toppo. But once that happens, I think that it'll be a bloodbath. But either way, I have my money on Hit. I do believe that Hit is going to, you know, just deliver on the highest of levels during this tournament. And if not, I'm going to eat my shoes. And to answer Mike's question, who do I believe is going to do better? Honestly, I'm going to have to go with either Piccolo or Android 17. Now, artificial human number 17, Android 17, we haven't seen him in quite some time, so I do think that they're going to show a little bit more of him than anyone else at this tournament, because I think that he has more to prove. However, I love Piccolo. Piccolo's a beast. Piccolo is, you know, one of the OGs, so I would love to see Piccolo for once, you know, instead of losing how he lost to Frost and all these things. I would love to see Piccolo bang it out with someone and just obliterate expectations, which is why I feel Piccolo is going to do the best. But then again, I'm going to have arguments in the comments saying, oh, well, Krillin's going to do the best, or 18, or TN, or you know, whatever. So I think for me, I want to see Piccolo do the most work, or at least the best out of the people you mentioned. However, if you guys feel differently, let me know. But I'm going to have to go with my boy Piccolo on this one. So anyways, Mr. IRAJs, thank you for the questions, and I hope you have a fantastic day, my friend. Now moving on to the next question, which is from Josh. Glad the Q&As are back. I love these. Thank you, man. I have two questions. Question number one, do you like the Japanese or English version of Dragon Ball Super more than the other? Question number two, how long do you think the Universal Destruction arc is going to last? Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for the questions, and thank you so much for enjoying the Q&As, Josh. Now, to answer your first question, it's kind of hard to say because the entirety of Dragon Ball so far has been primarily in Japanese. We've only gotten about, what, 7 to 8, you know, Dragon Ball Super episodes in English. Granted, the English episodes are good, but thus far, I'll be honest, until Dragon Ball Super comes out in its entirety in English, only then can I make my comparison. But thus far, I love the Japanese variation of Dragon Ball Super because it does add a little bit of depth. It is, you know, in tune with the culture. I mean, to respect Dragon Ball, you're gonna have to watch it in Japanese at some point just to appreciate the culture. But after having to watch Dragon Ball Super now for 80+ episodes, I'm gonna have to go with the Japanese version just because, you know, it's been out longer, and I feel as if so far there's more depth to the Japanese variation, so far at least. I mean, the English version is good too. I mean, Dragon Ball Super Episode 7 with Vegeta's emotions and stuff, you know, how, like, what did you do to my Bulma? That was pretty good. I would have to say that was better than the movie variation in Battle of Gods. I mean, because in Dragon Ball Super Episode 7, you felt Vegeta's emotion. You said, what have you done? That's my Bulma. Like, it was really cool to see that. So I'm gonna have to wait until the English variation of Dragon Ball fully comes out for me to make that comparison. Now, to answer your second question, okay, so how long is this gonna last? If they just blow this through and they decide to, like, rush everything, I can see this ending around June. But if they were to take their times with each individual fight, if they were to take their times with, you know, trying to marinate everything and explain the story further, I can see this easily lasting an entire year. But I really doubt that that's going to be the case, because so far the Future Trunks story arc was the longest arc in Dragon Ball Super, which again was pretty cool. But I would like to see this last a little bit longer, because there's so much story to this. You can add so much depth to this that I don't feel like if they blow this through and they rush, you're gonna tell that story that needs to be told, because so far this has the recipe to be one of the best arcs ever. But if they decide to rush on through, that'll really kill the momentum. But that's just me, of course. So I think that this arc might last until like June, July-ish. But that's just my prediction. If you guys feel differently, let me know. But anyways, Mr. Josh, I do want to say thank you so much for the questions, and I hope you have a fantastic day, bro. Now moving on to the next question, which is from YG Beast. Hey Alex, I gotta say I love your videos. They're always informative, and you are my go-to for everything Dragon Ball related. Thank you so much for that, dude. My first question number 1, do you think it's possible for Universe 7 to lose and then be restored by Champa since he owes Beerus one for reviving his Earth and his universe? Question 2, if a new form does debut, would you prefer a recolor like Dragon Ball Super's SSB or a completely new design? Question number 3, if the Super Dragon Balls can grant any wish, do you think Vegeta may wish for Planet Vegeta and the Saiyans to be revived sometime in the future arcs? Well, I do want to say thank you so much for the questions. Now, to answer your first question, Champa does owe Beerus one for reviving his Earth and his universe. However, knowing Champa, I don't think he would honestly do it unless he was pressured to. I mean, it'll be kind of cool to see, you know, Champa actually repay Beerus. Now, if Universe 7 were to lose, which again would be a major shock because a lot of us expect to see Universe 7 win, if Universe 7 loses and Universe 6 somehow wins, first of all, not only would that be a complete shock to all of us, but Beerus would be shocked, Goku would be shocked, like, wow, Champa actually won something for once, you know? And having him have all the Dragon Balls and seeing that, yeah, Beerus went out of his way to be selfless for once and give Champa what he wants, it'll only make sense for Champa to repay Beerus. And if that were to happen, I can actually see, you know, a little bit of tension between those two. I could definitely see Champa being like, all right, we're even now. Next time, I'm not going to be so nice or something like that. Like, that'll be really, really unexpected, but it'll honestly be very cool to see. Now, to answer your second question, if there is a new form, no recolors. Please stop with the recolors. I want a completely new design. Yeah, Dragon Ball Super is very simplistic when it comes to transformations. We've seen Golden Frieza. I mean, all he did was have gold. Goku Black he had his Rose form. Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue were just recolors. I don't want another recolor. I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys feel differently. If you guys do, let me know. But I cannot see that play off. I want to see something like Super Saiyan 4's design, or like, you know, Toibo's Super Saiyan 5 design in Dragon Ball AF. Something different, something else, something fresh other than just a simple recolor. So me, I definitely want a new design, something to where it adapts like the final variations of what a Super Saiyan God can actually be. Instead of having it be like a white hair or a green hair or a purple hair, you know, do something different when it comes to design. And I think I speak for everybody when I say that we would all like to see another design, a very unique design. But if it ends up being a recolor, I think everyone's gonna be pissed. And to answer your third question now, I don't think Vegeta has a need to revive Planet Vegeta. You have to ask yourself, it's like, what's the point of Vegeta even doing that to begin with? He doesn't care about his people anymore. He doesn't care about being the prince. I mean, he is comfortable with where he's at now, with his family, with his training. Obviously enough, he wants to progressively, you know, get better, but there's just no point in seeing Vegeta revive those Saiyans, because most of those Saiyans were evil anyway, so that'll be more or less a headache in having more Saiyans come to Earth and destroy stuff. It'll be just one massive headache, so I can't see Vegeta making that wish. So anyways, Mr. YG Beast, thank you so much for the questions, and I hope you have a fantastic day, bro. Now moving on to the next question, which is from Kid Dragon XD Q&A. How strong do you think Cabba would be if he had his potential unleashed? Question 2. Who do you think is the true villain of this arc? Is it going to be female Broly, Zamasu King, or the Grand Priest? Well, thank you so much for the questions, by the way. Now, to answer your first question, Cabba having his potential unleashed, how strong would he be? I think he'd be pretty strong. It's hard to say if he would be like Gohan level or not, but Cabba does have a lot of potential, and Cabba does stand out to me, at least, as one of those Saiyans that could really put in some work if he were to have his powers unlocked. And I don't know, like, to me, I would have to say that if Cabba were to somehow have his potential unleashed, he would be extremely powerful, maybe just below Ultimate Gohan, but still within that realm. I don't think that he'd be stronger than Goku or Vegeta. I mean, that's just insanity, but I think that he would be slightly below Gohan, to me at least. And to answer your final question, the villain. Now, this has been something that a lot of people have been asking. This has been something a lot of people have been wondering. I don't think that female Broly is going to be a primary villain, so you can cross that out. It's definitely not no Zamasu King. Like, there is no Zamasu King in this arc, so I don't know where you got that from. The Grand Priest is a person that we're all kind of like scratching our heads wondering like if it's actually him. But I think as a whole, the grand villain of this arc isn't somebody that we've seen just yet. It might be one of the gods that decides to, you know, oppose the tournament and decides to do their own thing, or it might be a brand new person that just decides to interrupt. Who's to really say for sure? Or maybe we may not have like a primary villain similar to Universe 6 versus Universe 7. all it really came down to was Goku versus Hit, and that was like the primary thing going on there. So I don't think that it's going to be the Grand Priest or female Broly or Zamasu King, but in fact, it might just boil down to like just regular, you know, tournament style fighting where it's like Goku versus the Masked Fighter or Goku versus Toppo, something simplistic like that. So anyways, Mr. Kid Dragon, thank you for the questions, and I hope you have a great day. And I do want to say thank you all so much for watching this episode of Dragon Ball Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions of your own to ask me for the next episode, drop your questions down in the comment section below. And if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for all that is in Dragon Ball news, information, updates, Q&A, and discussion videos. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to slap a like down below. Tune in for more, and I'll be seeing you all in the next Dragon Ball Q&A video. Take it easy, guys, and God bless. Peace.